Welcome back to Mayor's Monday once again. Great to be here. Great walk down to City Hall. Trees are budding. It's 60 degrees. What more can we ask for in Wausau right now?
Well, first of all, good morning, and thank you for always chatting with me. Hello, Wausau. I wish I could get phone calls when the weather is like this. I always get the phone calls when it's snowing or bad weather, but in all seriousness, you could not ask for better spring weather like this. Yes, it took a little bit longer this year, but it's finally here. I'm amazed, just in the last week how fast the grass has grown and how green it's gotten. It's getting colorful and back to life, and then little spring things throughout the city like street sweepers and always pothole repairs, that type of thing. That's always ongoing, but that's just one of those sure signs of spring. I'm waiting for the first person to say to me, gosh, it's too damn hot or something like that, because I'm just like, really? But everybody's entitled to their opinion. So.
Absolutely. And you brought up street sweepers, and those, it might seem like a little thing. Some people might see it, go by their house, and say, what is the city wasting money on this for? They actually do serve a purpose.
They really do.
An actual important purpose, and it's not just making the city look good for everybody who's going to come in for the summer events, whether they be at the 400 block or something at the Grand Hall or the Woodchucks, which are going to get started here in about a week and a half too.
Yep, I'll be out there for that. No, it's different things as far as getting rid of the sand, the dirt, and everything like that, so it doesn't collect into our city sewers and drains where it can get plugged up, etc., leaves, whatever the case may be. That's just one of those services that are provided for the city and by the city for its residents.
And that's obviously very important, because plugging up the infrastructure like that, as we of course found out in the middle of winter, not always a desirable
not
outcome.
a desirable outcome whatsoever.
So,
and for the record, that wasn't the city's fault, so stay tuned on that.
Absolutely, will do. Talking about some of the street projects that are coming up, obviously there was another milestone vote on Thomas Street on Tuesday. Could you just kind of give us an update? Where is this project right now? How close are we to seeing
Basically, sure. Basically, all that is in regards for this last vote was to make sure that MSA Appraisal Services does get out there and talk with different people, including tenants of different places that are rented out, to make sure that they're properly taken care of and compensated for whatever inconvenience that might fall on them. Now here, once again, the city more than accommodated residents, and we've been told that. This is going to sound like a broken record, but we really have gone out of our way to try to take people's emotions and feelings into consideration. We're not taking as much property as we had before. And coming up here, we are having several toxologists from Health and Human Services come from the federal government to present their findings. So we'll see what happens with that. I feel very comfortable with the way things are going. Everybody pretty much knows what's going on or what's been discovered, etc. The fact is, at this time, the facts are on our side, be it on a scientific level. We're going to deal with whatever we might find, if we find something.
I know there was a couple of, the vote was, I believe, 9-2, correct me if I'm wrong, on Tuesday, but I know there was a couple of people who had expressed concerns just about how much some people are going to be compensated for their property. I think Lisa Rasmussen brought it up. These numbers aren't final yet. You're just voting so that way the appraisers can move forward.
So that we can keep the process going. Nothing's actually been offered yet, per se. I've said this before, and I can't stress this enough. Folks are going to be treated honestly, decently, and fairly. And folks on the other side of Thomas Street were happy, or at least so I've been told and understand or heard from those residents, that the city did them right, and we will do the same on this side of the project as well. We have nothing to gain by not doing it that way. It gets frustrating when you have some of the rabble-rousers and their innuendo and out-and-out just dishonesty. The city is not the bad guy. We're going to do what's right. We're going to do what's proper. We're going to do what's legal.
Absolutely. And again, we look forward to, what the news conference coming up here in a couple of weeks is going to find with the DNR toxicologist. It's going to be an open conversation right there at City Hall. We'll all be there for that.
Exactly.
We're looking forward to that conversation.
This whole process, since I've taken over especially, and that's not to sound arrogant, but it's the truth, we've had it more open and more transparent than it ever has been before. Even the critics have said that. And I have said this, I just said this at the State of the City here a few weeks ago. We are moving forward. We're trying to be considerate and take people's emotions and feelings in consideration. But you know, if we do find something that should not be there, I have given my word. One, two things. I want to sleep at night. Two, I want to make it to heaven. I have no reason to lie to anybody. And there are a couple individuals out there where it's just they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink into it. And that's fine. That's their right. The thing is, I can't stress it enough. If something is found that should not be there, or in quantities or whatever, again, I am not a soil expert. I am not a toxicology expert or engineer by any means. But I have to listen to what is presented to us and the City Council and the findings. And as I said before, what we are dealing with at this time is something that can be taken care of. And I can't stress that enough. We will do the right thing.
Yep, we'll be looking forward to that presentation coming up here in just a couple of weeks. But on the positive side, we've got a couple of great events that are going to be coming up here. I know coming up on Monday today, actually, Bike to Work with the Mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what this is all about.
Well, this is something that was started by my predecessor as far as different points of the city, different contacts of the city. You bike into work. We all congregate here at City Hall, get together and chat and share healthy food. Lord knows I should be doing that more often.
No donuts involved.
No donuts. But in all seriousness, it's just something that's been done for a number of years, and I've continued that tradition. As a matter of fact, I just recently bought myself a bike. I finally bought myself something since I've been in office. What do you know? And I will be leading the way from Marathon Park. It varies from year to year. I know when we've had bad weather, you don't get as many participants, but I know there's been times we've had a number of participants. So I invite anybody to come out. I know by the time this is aired, it will be done, but this started at 6:45 or so this morning. So,
and it's just an event to kind of showcase, from my understanding, just exactly how bike friendly Wausau is, because that was another big announcement that came last week. The city's been named one of the most bike friendly cities of its size in the nation.
Actually, we won the top ranking for cities, smaller cities, those under 50,000. And we came in second to Fort Collins, Colorado, as far as being among the most bike-friendly areas in the United States. And we actually beat out places like Madison or Portland, Oregon, that have been known for years to be very bike-friendly. So yeah, it's just one of those little cool things that makes Wausau unique, and to be recognized like that. And yes, we got an award. But the nonprofit involved, they made their determinations as far as rankings on different things, traffic flow, how the city has different things set up, be it bike paths or bike lanes, etc. And that's just one of those things here with bikes in particular. That's something that people are looking for as far as quality of life. And it is just one of those little things. Hey, that's kind of nice that we won that. So kudos for us.
Yeah, absolutely. These awards, sometimes people might factor them in when they're going to be moving here somewhere, but really, when it comes down to it, if you're not building that bike-friendly infrastructure, you don't build on it. Just like any award, if you don't strive for better at all, it really doesn't mean much that you won it this year if you finish 20th on the list next year. So
well, it's just one of those things, and purposely, between myself and staff, we do go out looking as far as what's going to make Wausau better. What's those things that people like, that quality of life, to draw folks here of all different ages. And like I said, the bike thing, it's just one of those things that makes life more interesting. The quality of life makes things more unique. And it's very nice, and it's very much an honor to be recognized like that. This year alone, we've been recognized for several different things as far as the best place to start a business, and different companies coming here to start. It's just little things like that attract folks, and more importantly, businesses and companies to our area. And we're in talks with folks all the time now. A few years ago, that wasn't the case because of the culture here. So on a positive note, some things have changed, and for the right way and the right reasons. And we'll just keep that positive momentum going.
And again, we mentioned it before, touched on it a little more here. Wisconsin Woodchucks are going to be opening in just a couple of weeks. I mean, how
A sure sign of summer.
of summer, absolutely. And that's another thing people look at, because it was one of the things when I moved here over Thanksgiving I was excited about. I finally get to see the North Woods League and see one of the original franchises, and just kind of looking at what Mr. McDonald has done with that team, that's got to be a big addition to the city.
It has been. Mark McDonald and his staff have been a great addition to Wausau, and they're a great community partner. But you know, they're just fun to work with. You know, and it's another one of those things that draw people to Wausau. I know I like going to baseball games when I have the time. And in particular, there's just, you know, I'll be going to a Brewers game later on this summer. But one, it's local. You can get there, and there is that anticipation, that excitement, if you want to call it that. And just like football season, which I enjoy, as you can tell, you know,
Right.
it's just one of those things that you can tell a different season is here, and you can tell what's coming. And the Woodchucks in particular, you know, that's just another venue as far as making Wausau a great place to live and visit.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say enough good things about Mr. McDonald and the staff.
Well, is there anything else that you'd like to add here then before we let you go today?
On Sunday, May 20th, over at the Alexander Airport, I hope I'm saying that right, park, over by the airport, the Southeast Neighborhood Group, which has been working on this for a long time, several years, we're rededicating the park. And they are a wonderful neighborhood group. They are the epitome of what a neighborhood group should be. A positive, hardworking, getting things done. And we've got the airplane over there that used to be over by the VFW in place, different structures, different playground equipment. And I give those folks all the credit in the world. I know I'll be going there to speak on Sunday, May 20th at 10 a.m. So I invite all of Wausau to come out and see it. It's just another thing. I can't stress this enough. Another cool thing